They say a mother knows her child better than anyone else. But what happens when that very instinct turns into suspicion? When the face you've raised, the child you've nurtured, suddenly looks like the figure plastered across national headlines. Tonight, we step into the chilling perspective of Tyler Robinson's mother, a woman who broke her silence after officials confirmed new details surrounding the case linked to Charlie Kirk. It begins with something so ordinary, so familiar, that it forces us to ask, how much do families truly know about the people living under their roof? She was sitting at home, scrolling through the latest coverage, when she saw it. The photo that stopped her heart. The image of the alleged shooter. A face that, to her, seemed disturbingly close to home. A resemblance so strong she couldn't ignore it. She turned to her son, Tyler, asking where he had been, needing reassurance, desperate for clarity. His answer was simple. He said he had been at home, feeling sick. But the doubt lingered, because a mother's intuition doesn't fade so easily. Later, she expressed her unease to her husband, telling him that the man in the photo looked like their son. And what's worse? He agreed. Both parents staring at the same image, silently questioning everything they thought they knew. This wasn't just about an image in the news. It was about the horrifying realization that your own child could be tied to something unimaginable. And yet, what do you do when your instinct clashes with your loyalty? When love collides with suspicion? Robinson's mother later shared posts on social media, fragments of a family portrait that at first glance looked picture perfect. Smiles, togetherness, the appearance of stability. They looked like a proper family. But were those posts a reflection of reality or just another digital mask hiding something much darker? And that's where the questions truly begin. Because if this family appeared so ordinary, so grounded, what went unnoticed inside their home? What conversations were never had? What warning signs were brushed aside? Parents across the country will watch this story and wonder, if it could happen there, could it happen here? Could it happen in my own family? You see, this is not just a story about one young man or one shocking arrest. It is about how families function under the weight of silence, how love can sometimes blind, and how society itself plays a role in missing the signs that might prevent tragedy. But let's sit with this image of the mother for a moment. Imagine her scrolling the news, her hands trembling, staring at a face she knows better than her own reflection. Imagine her whispering to her husband, her voice cracking with doubt, and hearing him admit he sees it too. What does a parent do with that? Do you confront your child harder? Do you call someone? Or do you convince yourself it's just coincidence, that your eyes are playing tricks on you because the alternative is too devastating to accept? This is where guilt begins to settle in. Because what if silence was a mistake? What if speaking up sooner could have changed everything? And here is where the controversy deepens. Should the family have done more the moment they recognized the resemblance? Should they have alerted someone immediately? Or is that expectation unfair when every parent wants to believe in the innocence of their child? The truth is, families are often the first to see the cracks, yet the last to act, trapped in love, denial, and fear of what the truth might mean. And now with Robinson's mother speaking publicly, those dynamics are on full display, forcing all of us to re-examine what responsibility families carry in cases like this. The Robinsons may have looked like a proper family on the outside, but what was happening inside their home? Did they know about the social media posts? Did they read between the lines of what their son was sharing online, or did they dismiss it as harmless? When a mother shares her unease with her husband and he agrees, why wasn't that the moment for immediate action? These are uncomfortable questions, but they demand to be asked, because every answer carries weight not just for this case, but for every household struggling with silence, secrecy, and doubt. And as we unravel this story, you're going to notice patterns. A family that seemed ordinary, a young man who projected normalcy, parents who believed in the image they had built. But when that image cracks, the fallout doesn't just affect them. It forces society itself to reckon with the limits of parental control, the failure of institutions, and the uncomfortable truth that danger doesn't always come from strangers, but sometimes from within the very homes we assume are safe. We'll examine how this mother's statements reveal far more than she may have intended. Every word she shared, every detail, paints a portrait of a family caught between love and suspicion. And while her breaking silence may seem like just another part of the investigation, it is in fact a window into the hidden struggles of families everywhere. If you are a parent watching this, ask yourself, how well do you know your child? How often do you truly look beyond the surface, beyond the smiling photos on social media, beyond the words, "I'm fine"? And if you saw your own child's face reflected in a breaking news headline, would you be willing to believe it? Stay with us because this story doesn't stop here. Each layer we peel back raises new questions. About Tyler, about his parents, about what neighbors, friends, and teachers may have noticed or ignored. About how family bonds can protect but also conceal. And about what happens when love and loyalty clash with the harsh reality of truth. This is only the beginning. If you want to stay with us as we continue uncovering the truth, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. This is only the beginning. The story takes another turn, one that has left even those closest to Tyler Robinson questioning everything they thought they knew. Reports describe Tyler as a 22-year-old university student, now accused in connection to the shocking case involving Charlie Kirk. But what makes the story even more unsettling is not just the accusations, but the family dynamics and personal revelations that are surfacing in real time. Robinson grew up in a staunchly Republican household. His father, a firm Trump supporter, helped shape the political atmosphere of their home. And yet, Robinson himself rarely spoke about politics. His grandmother, Debbie Robinson, 69 years old, spoke out publicly for the first time, saying she was stunned by the charges against her grandson. She described him as quiet, almost detached from the heated conversations that defined his family's political identity. To her, he wasn't someone who wore his beliefs on his sleeve, but someone who kept his thoughts guarded. But the revelations didn't stop there. Investigators say Robinson's mother has also provided information that is raising new and troubling questions. According to officials, Robinson's mother revealed that her son had recently begun dating his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. She explained that during this same period, he began to lean more toward progressive social positions, particularly on issues of LGBTQ rights. This shift stood in sharp contrast to the conservative environment he was raised in, suggesting a tension that may have been building quietly behind closed doors. Court documents obtained by officials shed light on conversations between Robinson and his roommate. Police say they interviewed the roommate, who told investigators they had received direct messages from Robinson regarding the shooting. When the roommate asked him a simple but powerful question, "Why?" his alleged response was chilling. "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out." That line alone has become one of the most debated pieces of evidence so far because it directly points to motive, ideology, and personal conviction. But this is not the only angle investigators are exploring. Some reports claim to have uncovered social media accounts allegedly connected to Robinson. According to those claims, these accounts suggest that Robinson may have been part of what was referred to as the furry community, a controversial and often misunderstood subculture. These claims, however, remain heavily disputed, as major news channels who reviewed the same accounts conclude they cannot confirm ownership. The same applies to accounts believed to be linked to Robinson's roommate. Without confirmation, these remain allegations, but their existence alone fuels controversy and speculation. And this is where the story fractures into multiple layers. On one hand, you have a family known for its deep conservative roots, seemingly blindsided by the direction their son's life had taken. On the other hand, you have statements from Robinson's own mother that suggest a significant shift in his worldview, a transformation that may have put him at odds not only with his upbringing, but also with the environment around him. His grandmother insists he never spoke about politics. His mother points to a growing openness to progressive values. His roommate claims he openly expressed frustration about hatred he perceived in the world. And investigators are now trying to piece together how all of these details connect to the moment that has captured national attention.
The narrative keeps raising uncomfortable questions. How much did the family truly know? Did they notice the changes in his behavior, his beliefs, his social connections? And if they did they underestimate how significant those changes might be? There is also the timing. Reports claim Robinson's mother scrubbed her Facebook shortly after these events, a move that has fueled even more speculation. Was it an act of protection? Was it panic? Or was it simply coincidence? All of these details matter because they point to a bigger question society is now asking. How do personal struggles, political divides, and shifting identities collide to produce such shocking outcomes? It is a question with no easy answers, but one that will continue to haunt this case. As the investigation unfolds, we are left with a family caught between loyalty and disbelief. A grandmother struggling to reconcile her grandson's quiet demeanor with the accusations now before him. A mother acknowledging dramatic changes in her son's life, and yet still wrestling with the reality of what has been alleged. A roommate sharing testimony that, if true, points to ideological motives, and a public demanding clarity while being pulled in different directions by conflicting reports. And that is why this story is far from over. Every new revelation peels back another layer of complexity. Every unanswered question invites deeper speculation. And every family statement, every social media post, every piece of testimony adds weight to the growing puzzle. If you want to stay with us as we continue uncovering the truth, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. This is only the beginning. The next chapters will reveal even more about Tyler Robinson, about his family, and about the unsettling contradictions that lie beneath the surface of this case.